Hello everybody. We're walking along the highway, which is not really a highway anymore now that they've dropped the speed limit to 50. It's what I would call in the UK an A road, and it's still an A road. A roads can be any speed because they go through townships in the UK. And because it's a 4-lane road, I was doing some research on Toowoomba, and I've noticed that a lot of areas, like my area, it's all built in the 1970s, late 70s. And I'm wondering, why was there such a big building boom around that period? And it's because of the government of the day. So it's the Goss government, the Joe government, Sir Joe Peterson back then. He was a national Australian National Party candidate. That party no longer exists, defunct. They weren't powerful except for in Queensland. My dad ran for them in the Adelaide elections. Didn't have a chance, of course. They were a minor party in pretty much every state. Just strong in Queensland because they're a country party, fighting for farms and things like that, rather than for cities. And what he did is he sold off a lot of government land to housing developers for cheap. So if you got a cheap house, a cheap block of land, you build on it. That was the conditions. And that's what the developer did. Made millions out of it. Because it was acres and acres, hundreds of acres of land that the government virtually gave away. And what the government also did is bought land for roads. So he had a huge road dream, and along with the transport minister back then. And what they were going to do is, okay, let's cross, is build lots of highways around the place. Major highways all around Brisbane, places like Toowoomba, to the western suburbs of Brisbane, down to the Gold Coast, because the road to the Gold Coast, even in the late 60s, was just windy little 1-lane road. And parts of it were dirt. So the government tarred that road, made it a highway, rather than just a road that would take, about 3 hours to drive on, because you can barely go over like 20 or 30 kilometres an hour. Coppers. And now you could do the trip within 40 minutes. The road out to Toowoomba was widened from a 1-lane track to a 4-lane highway. And what the government did is they bought the land if they didn't own it, and then bought any houses that were they thought were in the way. They'd buy those too, and they'll rent them out until they needed the land and needed them demolished.